It is 7:04 a.m. in Tel Aviv when televisions flicker. The CNN banner blares, "Missiles strike Israeli Prime Minister's office. Attack claimed by Iran." The anchor's voice is tense. Images of smoke billowing over Jerusalem crowd every screen. Viewers hold their breaths as breaking updates spill in, each more alarming than the last. People freeze. In living rooms, cafes, and buses, phones buzz with emergency alerts. Social media explodes. Hashtags trend worldwide. Hashtag Jerusalem under attack. Hashtag Middle East crisis. The usual morning calm is shattered, replaced by a sharp edge of fear and disbelief. The world's eyes turn to Israel. Outside, sirens pierce the sky. Panic surges through the streets. Parents grab children, neighbors bang on doors, and everyone asks the same question. Where is Prime Minister Netanyahu? Is he alive? As reporters scramble for answers, one thing is clear. Nothing will ever be the same. The world watches, waiting for the next headline, dreading what comes next. Israel's government is a fortress. High walls, cameras, guards at every gate. But this morning, missiles strike Jerusalem, shattering the calm. Sirens wail, armored cars rush in, confusion reigns. No one knows where Netanyahu is. The world waits, uncertain. The uncertainty lingers, heavier than the smoke over Jerusalem. The missile strike is not just a headline, it is a living nightmare for millions. Sirens shriek across Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, and Haifa. People run for bomb shelters, clutching babies and backpacks. Metro stations become sanctuaries, packed with anxious faces. School children huddle under desks, eyes wide with terror. Shops slam their doors. Streets empty. Windows shatter from the blasts. Ambulances weave through debris, sirens competing with the distant rumble of more explosions. Soldiers fan out, urging citizens into shelters with urgent shouts. Emergency crews scramble to treat the wounded, their uniforms stained with dust and blood. Inside homes, families press close, counting loved ones. Radios crackle with updates, rumors, and instructions. Remain indoors. Stay away from windows. Every minute feels like an hour. The city's heartbeat is frantic and ragged. In these moments, survival becomes a shared instinct. Strangers comfort each other. Volunteers hand out water. The fear is real, but so is the resolve to endure. As news of the attack spreads, the world reels. In Washington, the president convenes the National Security Council in the Situation Room. London, Paris, and Berlin issue urgent statements condemning the missile strike. Moscow and Beijing call for restraint, but their embassies lock down as a precaution. Stock markets tumble. Oil prices surge. Investors panic, fearing a broader Middle East war. Airports in Europe and North America increase security, canceling flights to the region. The United Nations calls an emergency session, diplomats racing through hushed corridors, phones ring in capitals from Ankara to Riyadh. Leaders demand answers. Israel's allies pledge support, its enemies celebrate. The world is on edge, each nation calculating its next move. Social media is a storm of speculation, analysis, and outrage. As the hours tick by, one thing becomes clear. This is not just Israel's crisis. The fate of the region, and perhaps the world, hangs in the balance. Iran releases a statement within minutes. "We have struck a military target in response to Israeli aggression," the foreign ministry declares. State TV shows crowds in Tehran cheering, waving flags. But Israeli officials push back. No confirmation of casualties. No comment on the prime minister's status, they say. Rumors fill the vacuum. Some claim Netanyahu is dead. Others say he is wounded but alive. Fake videos spread online. Old explosions passed off as new. Both sides accuse the other of lying. In the chaos, even seasoned journalists struggle to separate fact from fiction. Cyber attacks add to the confusion. Israeli news sites flicker and crash. Iranian social media is awash with triumph and with fear. Diplomats issue warnings. Do not trust unverified sources. But the world is desperate for answers. Misinformation becomes its own weapon. In this digital fog, the truth is as elusive as peace. The crisis deepens just hours later. Reports break. Iran's supreme leader has died suddenly. Heart attack, poisoning, assassination. The truth is unclear, but the effect is instant. Black banners hang from balconies in Tehran. Crowds fill the streets, some weeping, others shouting angry slogans. Power struggles erupt, rival factions vie for control. The Revolutionary Guard locks down key buildings, tanks rumble through the capital, social media is cut, cell service flickers. Some call for calm, while others demand revenge. The Supreme Leader's funeral becomes a flashpoint. Millions mourn, but protests flare at the edges. Young Iranians chant for reform. Hardliners vow to continue the fight. The government teeters, its next move uncertain. In this confusion, Iran's grip on power is fragile. The missile attack that shook Israel now threatens to tear Iran apart from within. As the day darkens, Israel finds its voice. Netanyahu appears on national television, his face drawn but determined. Israel will defend itself, he declares. Rumors of his death are dispelled. The nation exhales, relief mixed with dread for what comes next. A unity government is formed, with opposition leaders joining hands. Parliament meets in a fortified bunker, passing emergency powers. The Israeli Defense Forces launch airstrikes on Iranian positions in Syria. Sirens sound in Damascus, Beirut, and Baghdad. The region braces for escalation. Military reservists flood recruitment centers. Citizens donate blood. Volunteer groups organize food drives for families in bomb shelters. Patriotism surges, but so does fear. The cost of war is already high, and it will climb higher still. Yet in crisis, Israel finds unity. Political rivals set aside their differences. The message is clear: the nation will not back down. For millions, war is not strategy, it is survival. In Israel, families huddle in bomb shelters, sharing flashlights and whispered stories. Groceries sell out within hours. Schools close. Hospitals overflow with wounded and frightened. The radio plays lullabies between news bulletins, trying to calm restless children. In Iran, daily life changes overnight. Men line up at bakeries, fearing shortages. Women queue for medicine. Some families flee Tehran for distant villages. Others stay, defiant but afraid. Rumors of more violence keep the city on edge. Phone calls connect families across borders. Are you safe? Mothers ask sons. Soldiers send hurried texts from the front. Hope is fragile, so easily broken by a siren or a knock on the door. Yet even now, kindness survives. Doctors risk everything to save lives. Neighbors share bread. Children draw pictures of peace and hang them on shelter walls. The violence spreads. Militias in Lebanon launch rockets into northern Israel. Syrian artillery shells the Golan Heights. In Iraq, Iranian-backed groups attack western bases. The region is ablaze, old grudges reignited by new blood. International forces move fast. U.S. warships steam toward the Mediterranean. Russian jets fly patrols over Syria. China calls for talks but readies evacuation plans for its citizens. Oil prices spike, sending shockwaves through the world economy. Refugees stream across borders, seeking safety. Aid agencies warn of a humanitarian disaster. Food and medicine grow scarce. Power outages hit Baghdad and Beirut. The world's attention is fixed on the fighting, but the suffering of ordinary people grows. Each new attack raises the stakes. The fear is real, that this war could spread far beyond the region, dragging the world into its fire. Yet, even in darkness, hope flickers. In Tel Aviv, volunteers bring food to shelters. In Tehran, doctors work around the clock. Soldiers share cigarettes and stories, leaning on each other in the cold. Teachers organize lessons for children in underground rooms, trying to keep life normal. Children draw pictures of doves and rainbows, taping them to cracked walls. Strangers become family. Faith leaders pray for peace, their voices rising above the sirens. The world's media covers the war, but also the courage. Nurses, firefighters, teachers, parents, all refusing to surrender to fear. The question lingers, can hope survive amid so much loss? No one knows the answer. But tonight, in bomb shelters and ruined streets, people hold on. They believe, however faintly, in a brighter morning.